Electronic waste, also known as e-waste, contain toxic materials and chemicals in various components, such as monitors and circuit boards. Some examples of metals and chemicals include arsenic, which can contribute to cardiovascular disease, cancer, and diabetes. Cadmium, which can affect the body's ability to metabolize calcium, which lead to bone pain, weaken bones, and can cause kidney damage. Chromium, which can cause skin irritation, rashes, and can potentially cause cancer. Copper, which can irritate the throat and lungs and affect the liver, kidneys, and other body systems. Lead, which in children can affect growth, cause brain damage, harm kidneys, impair hearing and vision. In adults, can cause memory loss and lower the ability to concentrate, as well as harm the reproductive system. And nickel, which in large doses can cause cancer. If e-waste are discarded at the dump or landfill, they can break down and contaminate our water, land, and nearby subsistence foods. If e-waste are burned in a dump fire or burn box, the contaminants can enter the air we breathe. We can avoid the health risk from these wastes if we separate them, package and store them safely, and then finally shipping them out of our villages.
When preparing to backhaul electronic waste, be sure not to send anything like smoke detectors, exit signs, and never include anything that contains liquids. Additionally, please don't send any garbage. We've received shipments that have had dirty diapers, old office equipment, and just general household trash. These aren't acceptable. Also, really give a good look over at your electronics. If they seem to be really old, maybe manufactured before 1980, you'll probably want to contact your vendor. They'll require a photo and a description, and they can determine if it's acceptable material. The concern with electronic waste is within your TVs, computer monitors, within the glass is lead. They embed the glass with this lead. And once this is broken, it only takes something like rainwater, and that lead can start leaching out of these picture tubes. Alternatively, the electronic circuit board inside of the e-waste also can contain lead. They use it as sort of a glue to glue in all the chips. Similar to the CRTs or the computer monitors, it only takes something like rainwater and the lead can start leaching out of these electronics. So when you're staging electronic waste for backhaul, it's important to keep it covered so that lead can't leach out of it. But you also want to make sure you don't burn the material. Burning releases all sorts of hazardous compounds. When you're putting together a pallet of e-waste for backhaul, some things to consider is when you begin putting material on the pallet, start with the heaviest and flattest stuff and place that on the four corners. Once you lay down a nice solid foundation like that, you can start building up around it. Once you get about probably no higher than your belly button, your pallet's ready to be wrapped. If I was out in the field wrapping, normally what I do is I'll do 2 laps on the bottom, start working your way up to the top, then you do 2 good wraps on the top. All the while, as you go around the corner, just kind of pull it tight and then let it spin. And as you're doing it, you should kind of hear it crunching together. And if you hear that crunch, you know you're doing a pretty good job. And then there's some other things. If you're worried about it really toppling over, oh, I'll wait till I get around to the camera. If you're really worried about it toppling over, you can go and do these little twists. And it just kind of gives it a little extra support. And just sort of makes it act like rope. And then when you're all done, you can break it off and give it the old push test, which is basically give it a little push, things aren't flying off of it, it's probably good to go. The type of stretch wrap we recommend using is a 1880 gauge wrap. That means 18 inches long and at 80 gauge strength. There aren't any special labeling requirements for shipping electronic waste, but it's important to remember to include your contact information, such as your name and your address, and then also your vendor's contact information, including their name and address before shipping it.